see the beat die.
Hi everyone, good evening, and good evening. Hope you're all doing okay. It's evening time here. It's just past 10 in the evening. Hope you're all doing okay. Hope you're having a lovely Saturday. Now, today we'll be getting our panelists onto the show to talk about another great topic to do with the Nigeria we want, the Nigeria I want, and the Nigeria that you want. What's the Nigeria that you want? What does it look like? What are you doing to work towards that Nigeria that you want? That's what all these discussions is all about. But before I bring Mr. Wale Lighton onto the show, who is going to be moderating the show, I would like to appreciate one of our sponsors today, um, Provision Provision GSH Plus. Um, I will play their infomercial. Check them out. How is your energy? Do you struggle with having restful sleep? How is your immune system? Do you struggle with stress, concentration, and mental fatigue? GSH Plus is your answer. It's the answer that you need because the ingredients contained in GSH Plus formula may support your immune system, optimize your strength and energy, and it can empower your daily living. Provision GSH Plus can be ordered through the link we've provided. That's Provision GSH Plus. What does it do? It's just fantastic. It's like just a magic pill that it helps with most things that you may be suffering from. If you feel tired, you feel lethargic all day, or you have recurrent infections and so many other things, try GSH Plus because it contains what is called glutathione. With glutathione, it's going to help eradicate whatever may be causing those recurrent infections. Glutathione is more like a fuel to your system. You know, you can't move with, and then if your car doesn't have fuel in it, there's no petrol in it. That car is not going to move. The glutathione is more like a fuel to your body, to the cells in your body, so you need it. So if it's depleted, if you're lacking in it, you need to replenish it, you need to refuel, you need to refill. Now, Mr. Wale Lighton, I would like to welcome you to the show today. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I can't hear you. You're on mute.
Thank you very much, Dr. Vicky.
How's the week been for you?
Yeah, actually, it was a busy week, and
Mm.
But yeah, I think that's the purpose of why we're in this part of the world, I guess.
Exactly, exactly.
So
You know, for $1, Onyibo will make you work like crazy. For you work up to $10 to earn $2. So yeah.
absolutely. So
Hmm.
I'm not complaining about that. So
Yeah.
it was really a busy week, and also I had
Hmm.
time to reflect on the show we had last week.
Yes,
You
yes,
know, I
yes.
think
What are your thoughts?
yeah, so
What
I
are
had
your
time to
thoughts?
reflect on the show we had last week, and especially the milestone that we were able to achieve last week in terms of
Mm.
viewers and numbers of shares and everything. So just some of those small gains that's adds a bit of motivation to what we do.
It is. But at the same time, I received few calls from friends and family from overseas and from Nigeria
Okay,
regarding the show and
okay,
our guests. Um, and I've had time to also think and reflect that what is that saying about our people really? What is that saying about us? Um, in terms of the numbers of shares, numbers of, I mean, the last time I checked, we had over 10,000 viewers. And apart from the shares, apart from, so many people that were talking about the show, and so many of the emails that I've received even
okay,
since then, like there's a young lady who has not for profit organization, but she runs this more like charity thing in
okay.
terms of gifting non-disposable pads
Parts,
to
okay.
young girls around, and she was asking about us bringing her to the show for more exposure because it's not taking up as she was expecting it to be.
So be okay.
And she said she got to know about us through the show we had last week. Not that alone, as much as that we have people that wanted exposure, at the same time, we had people sending messages asking for financial assistance,
Assistance,
asking
okay.
for help, asking for this, asking for that. And I've had since last week on Saturday, we had a show, we had Olamide on, and on Tuesday, I was in a meeting when a call came through from Olamide. He tried to call me like 5 times. But of course, I was in a meeting, I couldn't pick. I sent him a message that I'm in a meeting, call me back in 2 hours. He didn't call me back. And I thought, yeah, that would have been in the middle of the night. I'm not going to disturb him. But what I heard since then was that I believe the time he was calling me, he was being taken to Kiri Kiri. All right.
Okay.
You look bewildered.
Yeah,
Yes,
completely. Yeah.
he was being taken to Kiri Kiri. Some people, they charge him to court for having foundation that is not registered. And it is against the law, according to what I heard, it's against the law in Nigeria that is taking money from people in diaspora. And there was a case that he collected money from people, and he used the money to rent a flat for a family, and he kicked those people out 2 weeks after. And
Okay.
the person that was giving me all this information was like, you have to be careful. You guys have to be careful. You're doing a great job. You've got to be careful who you bring onto the show. And Egbon is having this green on. But I've been thinking about it. I've been kind
Yeah,
of
look,
crazy looking at it. But um, yeah, those were just the things that came up after
yeah, look,
the show. Yeah.
I wasn't aware about the part of him being arrested and
No, he
You
was
know,
arrested. He was arrested,
how,
and he was there for the whole day, to the extent that they said he was actually vomiting blood. He was locked up. He was
okay.
vomiting blood, and his mom and somebody had to come and pay his bill. And
Yeah.
in his own voice, and I had somebody send me the link where he was being interviewed, and he said, that if they should take this to court, he will be in trouble because he didn't register the foundation.
I just think a bit of common sense should just prevail, in my honest opinion.
But in
We have a
Nigeria,
young man with
who
his
is
own
doing
difficulties that
exactly
it's so
that?
obvious to see that he's got his own challenges, and he's
But
trying
at the same,
his best to help. And he actually acknowledged it openly last
mm,
Saturday that his
mhm.
challenges with registration and asking for help. I would think that in some cases, I understand law is law, but a bit
But
of
at
common
the end of
sense.
the day, Dr. Wale,
Yeah,
the person, there's a guy called Olowo Boboro, I think, who was to interview him. I think it was that man that actually helped him for him to be released when he was arrested.
okay.
So this man said, I've advised you time and time again as per what to do. He was receiving all this money. I mean, we asked him last week, all he needed was like $150,000 naira to do
Naira.
the registration. He could have done it. You can say, I'm not educated, I don't know what to do, but you have some people pointing you in the right direction. You need to do what is right. And that is one thing I'm scared of. That yes, we can say we are going to help you, but helping you, you might be doing what you think is right. If that person is not doing it, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
So, Egbon, hey, welcome to the show. We're just kind of chatting about last week show, what happened, and the kind of views that we had, and what had happened since then. So, how are you? Ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò yìí.
Ẹ ṣé o, olóòtú.
Welcome to the show, Egbo.
Thank you so much. Nice to be
Thank you
here.
for bringing Otumba last week. Thank you so much for bringing Otumba. I mentioned him to my husband, and he's so happy to. He's happy to do whatever he can to help. So, yeah. So, what are your thoughts about last week's show?
Sorry, I missed that bit. A call came in. I missed that bit. The last thing you said. Sorry, Vicky. I didn't hear what you said last. Sorry.
I initially mentioned is it Otumba?
Are,
Sorry.
yeah. Are Jide Taiwo on top of my head.
Yes. I initially thank you for inviting him onto the show last week, for him to talk about the initiative and what the work that he's been doing with others regarding Jingi
Alake.
Yes. Thank you for doing that. And I mentioned that initiative to my husband, and we are happy we will be happy to do whatever we can to help. And also, like Wale and I were discussing, reflecting on last week's show, what are your thoughts about it?
I honestly think we've done our transparent best. I think our intentions are very clear. It's all geared towards the development of the human race. There is no way we won't meet challenges along the line. And if you remember clearly, I sent a private message while that program was on. And but the important thing is that we are out with the best of intentions, and we'll probably just be extra careful next time. That is not to condemn whoever, because we are not the court, and I'm sure things will be sorted out. But there is a need for us, because this concept, this program is getting bigger and bigger. And that's our prayer, that's our wish, so that we can continue to impact positively on lives out there. So the challenges are expected. So we just move on. I think we just move on. That's
now we made a promise that we were gonna help with foundation registration. What do we do from here?
I think we should hold our brakes a bit on it. We need to find out a little more. We can't just jump into it. Once it's once there are question marks, we can't jump into it. We need to find out a little more. What's one of the things that is sustaining this concept, this program, is our names, and particularly yours. You've labored so hard over the years to build that name. You can't jump into, it's like the waves. It's like the waves of an ocean and all that. We need to find out more before we make our next move. Once we are happy with whatever information we are able to gather, then we can take a decision. But for now, I think we should hold our brakes.
All right. Yep. What do you think, Wale?
Exactly. I share Egbon's views 100% on that.
Yeah. Yep. It's been weighing on my mind. I've received so many calls about it, and I'm like, okay, where do we go from here? All right. So thank you so much for that. So, any updates? Any?
You've changed that. We don't call it updates anymore. You remember you said it. What's trending?
What's trending? Yes, what's trending? What's trending?
Yeah, what's good question. What's trending? I'm looking forward to that day when it will be all good news all over. I'm looking forward to that day. But I'm sorry to say that not much of that is in the air. But one big thing that is trending is the murder of this
billionaire.
Yes, it's a very sad development. It probably just took the focus off every other thing, and of course we know that a 21-year-old young lady, an undergraduate of a university, is involved. Unfortunately, the man that is involved is gone now, is dead. But there are stories flying all around. The fact is, and I am personally convinced that we are yet to hear the full story.
The full story.
We are yet to hear the whole truth. Because when things like this happen, there is the sense of self-preservation that comes into it. You find out that probably those who are said to be involved will want to have as much clean slate as they can. So we are waiting. We are waiting. We'll still see what has been done. But there are a few lessons that have been learned there by all and sundry. When you take people at face value, there may be a danger in it. And we need to be more circumspect in terms of our relationships out there. One would have wished that the man involved didn't die, so that he could tell a bit of his own story, his own side of this. But we will see as it goes. So that has been, the murder case has been trending. It's probably the biggest story out there right now.
They've showed the wife, they've showed the girl, they've showed the man, and it's quite sad. And we just hope this is a big lesson for all men to be contented with whatever they have, isn't it?
That's an expected comment from a lady.
And even women, because now these days you don't even know which one is which.
That's an expected comment from a lady, but that is also the truth, I must say. However, by the time the full story is out, there will probably be a bit of moderations to views that are out there. There will be a bit of moderations to views that are out there. It is, just as I said, I know it will caution quite a number of men. I know it will. It will also caution women as well. It will also caution women as well. But let's see as it goes.
All right. So from my part, I'll just share mine before I pass it on to Wale. It's about TB Joshua and the succession he didn't have because he wasn't planning to die. But it happened that death came, and I heard that the wife is now the leader of SCOAN. Is it called SCOAN? Synagogue of All Nations. So churches, my husband and I, we had a chat. We were talking about the way things are in Nigeria, that the pastor, I mean, I said to him this morning, I said, you're a doctor. I can't come out and say, because you're a doctor, now I'm a doctor too. We are now both doctors. Because you're a doctor, now I'm a doctor. What is happening with churches that as soon as the pastor becomes the pastor, automatically the wife gets elevated to being the pastor? Who is watching who? Because we're talking about a medical doctor who is looking after physical body. Now we're looking at pastors. Their job is to look after the spirit. The inner, the spiritual well-being of their members. Now, when we have a woman who hasn't been for the training, just because she's married to a pastor, she automatically gets promoted. This is quite controversial, but it's something that I'm passionate about, and it's because I'm from that's where I was raised, my mom and dad and stuff. And it's something that I kept thinking about, that something needs to be done. We need to get to a stage whereby there should be a body making sure things, because my husband can't just misbehave. He's going to get into trouble. Why are pastors misbehaving and they're getting away with it? So I'm just putting too many things into that. But what is trending for me is the point that Evelyn Joshua is now the leader of that church. Wale?
Yeah, look, I will take it from where you stop. I think most of these, big churches nowadays, they run like a family business. And with all due respect to Pastor TB Joshua, I've read so much about everything, all the good things he did in terms of charity and all what have you since his passing. I've seen a lot of videos on that. But the reality is that apart from the traditional churches, most of these new churches, that there's a founder, and if you see the way to operate, everything probably revolves around that person. So pretty much it's run like a family business. And
what is happening here, Wale?
Sorry?
What is now happening? We succeed in him.
Yeah, I think because the way they set it up is more like a family business. Because it's like a family business, when the head of that business, when that person transitions to a different level, I think the first time this happened was when Idahosa passed. When Bishop Idahosa passed, that was exactly what had happened. They had some other church members in terms of the hierarchy that were meant to step up. That was the expectation at the time. But Idahosa was the face of the church. He was the founder, the evangelist, everything. So the wife step up. So I'm not really surprised in terms of what has happened in terms of TB Joshua. What is trending also is more of what Egbon has spoken about, the death of Michael Osifo Ataga. just some days before his 50th birthday. And the young 21-year-old Shidima Ojuku of University of Lagos undergraduate students. And wherever the angle you look at this from, it has all the ingredients of a crime movie. You see drugs, there's money, there is mistress or side chick, as they call it.
Yep.
There is murder, someone has died, unfortunately. And there are a lot of conspiracy theories, flying around on this. So whichever way we look at it, it's a very, very sad story. We're looking at a 50-year-old man that is no more with us. He left 2 kids and a wife. And we've got a 21-year-old facing, as it stands now, a murder charge, and we know how they deal with murderers in terms of our legal code in Nigeria. So whichever way we look at it, it's a very, very sad situation. But as Egbon said, I also believe that they are other part of the puzzles that we are yet to really understand. So that is what is trending for me as well.
My quick reaction to the first one, which has to do with TB Joshua and others. Trying not to ruffle the feathers here. It's I'll go along with what you two said. That's Vicky and Wale. I've always asked myself that if God called the man at the helm of affairs, and that man eventually passes on, at the time God was calling him, of course, did he appoint a deputy? If he now moved on to the great beyond, wouldn't we go back to God?
Exactly.
To say, sir, who else?
Who's next?
Call him on whichever network. Say, sir, who is next? We have seen this trend, but unfortunately, religion is such a very sensitive thing. When you raise some of these issues, some people will probably call for your head. It wasn't just in the case of Idausa. We have seen a female pastor passing on, and then the husband taking over. We have seen a male pastor, or even some pastors passing on, and then the wife automatically takes over. I don't know. The Yorubas will say, "Ọlọ́run ló mẹni tí ń sìn."
Ọlọ́run knew.
Yes, but there is a lot that justifies what Wale said about family business. But what do I know? What do I know? I think we should just leave it at that. We'll watch as it plays out. We will watch as it plays out, because I know some people will stay. I know some will go.
Well, the other thing, Wale said something and I nearly screamed out. I'm sorry. This is not a topic of discussion today.
Yes.
But it's just something else that's been playing on my mind. Somebody accused of raping 3 children of the same mother that he was supposed to be caring for, right? And he was taken to court. There were other people that accused him of doing the same thing. There were so many things. Now, that person passed on. And there had been so many videos of praise and yes, there's been we have this saying that you don't talk bad of someone who has passed on. Fair enough. But does it mean that because that person is now dead, all the things that has been proven, I mean, there were videos of him apologizing, asking for forgiveness for raping those children. Does it mean that now that he's dead, yeah, let's just let it go? Because those kids are alive and well, but damaged. Their spirits, their everything damaged. So for me, I just have this question, and it's the same thing with Baba Ijesha, who was released. Sorry, that's another trending issue. Released only yesterday. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? And I couldn't believe our people that turned from swearing at him, cursing him, to, oh, welcome back, make job back. I'm just like, it's just coming back to the same topic we're talking about today. What's wrong with us? Jagbadu Baye.
Politely.
Yeah, look, that's the part you are there. Maybe that has completely eluded me. The part of, without going to some legal, technicalities about what really happened, and the fact that we have someone that is not here with us to actually defend himself. I must have missed that particular story that you just mentioned about,
there are many. There are
the
many.
sexual assault and what have you.
Yeah.
I must have missed that, but I know that many of these, men of God or any influential person, they have conspiracy theories and whatever around them. But I'm not personally. I'm not that kind of. I don't share the view that once that person is dead, then everyone yotabakula andere, as Yoba would say, and then everything is rosy and everything. I don't believe in that school of thought, But obviously, I just reported what I've seen in terms of what people have said. Anyway, maybe as Egbon said, we can put it there and try and move on. So, where is Elvis before we move on?
Sorry, he sent his apology. He went he had to travel down somewhere for a condolence visit. He's a leader.
He's the leader of the Igbo Association.
Yeah, so he won't get home by the time we started. So he said, "Oh, my apologies."
I never knew I had such a powerful friend.
Oh yes, he is. Elvis is very powerful.
I never knew I had such a power. Now I feel lucky.
Okay, let's get straight to the point. Tonight we're discussing between our defective memories and Nigerian government's lies. How is next level treating us? So we're combining, our defective memories and the continuous lies from the government. We remember the current government, when they came to power in 2015, they ran the campaign on change. And despite the abysmal performance, 4 years later, they still had the inventory to step up from change to next level. So we can all see where we are with next level today. So we just have, and we can travel back and see that trend of government, continuous lies, and also the memories of our people. How far can we remember? Do we really, as a people, do we suffer from collective amnesia that we don't even remember things? So that is what we want to discuss tonight. And we go straight to the first question. I will go to Egbon. Despite his apparent failure in the first term, the APC government metamorphosed from change to next level, and millions of Nigerians fell for the deceit. Why governed by lies?
Story of our life. It's a sad one, and I want to say that it's probably not limited to the present regime or administration. For years, we have been comfortable with lies. For years, we've been comfortable with people painting rosy pictures. For years, we've been so popularized that, when you are in the dark, real dark, and there is that tiny ray of light, you get excited, not minding the fact that it might just be the glow of a lion's eye. And then you rejoice towards it. until you are consumed. It's a big challenge. It's a big challenge. It's something that has been going on for so long. But let's talk about the present situation. So much hope was raised, but the wise ones amongst us, were cautious, and they raised their voices. But we chose to ignore the voice of wisdom. These were people who knew the characters involved closely. These were people who were students and good students of history. These were people who have gone through things and have had dealings with major characters within the system. These were people who saw the carpet crossing gimmicks of a lot of these major characters, and they won. They won. But the Yorubas, let us always borrow from our elders.
Yes.
We ignored, I mean, if a dog is going to get lost, it will ignore the hunter's whistle. The hunter's whistle is supposed to call a dog to order, call it to caution, but we ignored it. And so we danced along. We danced along. We felt, I'm using we because it's safer that way, right? We danced along because all we were interested in was El Dorado. All we were interested in was, oh, something new, something new. It doesn't even matter if that new thing does not make sense. It is obvious the way we hear that there's no magic that is going to happen with the present set. That is not to say some good things are not being done. But when the people are left without constructive leadership, when the people are left without, like a cattle without shepherd, obviously, it becomes an issue. They will drift. Nobody can fault the fact that we are drifting as we are. We can only hope, that along the line, we will stop this drifting, and then get back online. I keep saying it, that there are good people with good intentions in the present administration. But I also add that those who are there for self outnumber them. Those who are there for self have the latitude to do a lot of odd things that will not move us forward. There are semblance, we have semblance of good works here and there. But the nation needs a lot more than we have right now. It is now worse when you keep lying to people and they can see the lights. You say something in the morning, by afternoon, the story is different. So it is a challenge. It's a very big challenge. And it is now a fad. It's like, just tell them something. And then.
Are you there, Egbo? I think Egbo is frozen.
Yeah, it's frozen.
Somebody jumps.
Okay.
Somebody jumps out and just open his or her mouth and just tell you what they think you should hear. That is contrary to reality. Now it has gotten to a point where you hardly believe anything coming out of their mouth. You hardly do. So that is where we are. Unfortunately, a lie ceases to be a lie when it is agreed by all and sundry that the truth must not be spoken. That is not where we are. Where we are is that people doubt what is coming from government quarters. But what do they do about it? Maybe next to nothing. They just take it as it's just one of those things, and they move on. And we just keep rolling like, it's a rolling stone attitude. And it's such a shame. I'm not proud to say all these things, but it is the reality. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Egbon. You made some valid points there. You talk about absence of constructive leadership. You spoke about trying to balance it so that it won't be seen that, all we do is just to, criticize blindly. You made a point that even with the current government, despite, all the complaints, you still believe that there are good people with good intentions, but if you want to put a number on them, they are, outrightly outnumbered, by those that are there, to serve themselves, self-serving politicians. So moving on, I go to Vicky. Nigeria's leadership failure in Nigeria is synonymous with the two major political parties. Just over 6 years after PDP lost the presidency, the party now speaks glowingly about its achievements, while rewrites history with lies. So we're still talking about lies and our defective memories. Just 6 years ago, PDP was in government, and we all remember for that 16 years between 1999 to 2015, all that went through that period of 16 years. But you'll need to listen to PDP spokesperson now, the way they speak, and even some of the PDP key players, how they speak glowingly about their period. Why do they try to rewrite history? History.
Why? It's easy, because they know that nobody's going to challenge them. They know that people, the masses, they are busy chasing their own tails. They are busy trying to find money to pay school fees. They are busy trying to get whatever they can to pay their rent. So they don't have time to start correcting them. So they can lie. They can say it. And nobody is going to challenge them on it. Nobody is going to remind them that, maybe we were here. What are you talking about? Even though I think it's me, when you don't know what your priorities are. Our people actually don't know what their priorities are. That is why they would rather, most are chasing their tails, trying to find money, trying to do this, but they still create time to gossip. They still create time to comment on gossip. They still create time to make stories trend. As they were looking for money to buy food, to pay rent, they have a little bit to buy data so that they can follow what is happening and comment. But what is supposed to be yelling and screaming on top of their voices on that, no, don't tell us that one. We were all here. Yes, things were really bad. Maybe things were worse now, but it was bad then. You didn't give us anything. You didn't do anything. So these people, they can do it and get away with it. There's no challenge. There's nobody saying no. And it's the same thing with what the politicians have been doing. The stealing. They steal and they come and show off to you. You come to the party and they spray the money that they stole from us. And we are not challenging them. There's no pay. There's nobody making them to pay for what they've done. So what do you expect? They can lie, and they will keep lying. That's just the long and short story of it.
Yeah, so
sorry, Wale.
Okay.
I won't also want us to leave out the sense of entitlement by the two big parties.
The sense of, okay.
Sense of entitlement to the national cake. Sense of entitlement to power. And for as long as we still stay focused
on those two
as a people on the tree, for that long will we be having it the way we are. I'll tell you, if tomorrow PDP takes over power, you're going to see a mass movement from APC to PDP. And so the saga continues. Just as we had when APC took over power, there was that movement from PDP to it. So for as long as we are not casting our nets wide, for as long as we do not give extra attention to other parties that probably have people of good character, people who have been tested, at least within the struggle and all that, people who we know in our neighborhood that they mean well, they've been doing so well. For as long as we don't do that, we will keep having this discussion.
But Egmont, when you look at a place like Australia, we have two major parties. Two major, and they've been like that for donkey years, since forever and ever. Liberals and Australian Labour Party. Yeah. In America, we have United States of America. There is these two major parties, and they've been forever and ever. But one thing that I know is common in these two countries that I mentioned, I mean, they are the two countries that I know very well, right? But one thing that is common is people are loyal, extremely loyal. You can't see them jumping from Liberal to Labour. No. They stick to it. If they are not doing well, they fight between themselves and I mean, we've had 3 prime ministers in a year. Julia Gillard kicked, what's his name again? Our other one.
Kevin Rudd.
Kevin Rudd out. Kevin Rudd, we fought and kicked Julia Gillard out, and he got back onto it. Just like that, we went to bed with one prime minister, we woke up with another prime minister, the same party. What is wrong with us? You see them.
I will answer.
Okay.
Vicky, I would gladly have only 2 parties in Nigeria. Gladly have only 2 parties in Nigeria with very clear ideologies.
Exactly. No ideology.
Yes, I would gladly have 2 parties in Nigeria with spelled out do's and don'ts. Listen, what we have is a draft constitution of one party being photocopied for the other with minor alterations here and there, so that it will look whichever way. But that's not what we have.
Mm-hmm.
The climb you're describing a climb where some basic things are unthinkable. That is it. But that is not what we have, unfortunately. Maybe with time, we will get there. But I'm doing all this so that I can have a symptom, at least a symptom of it in my lifetime. I'm screaming so that my children will enjoy a bit of this, if not much more. But that's not what we have. And the unfortunate thing is that the level of pretense, as if all is well, is painful. It is painful. Our parties only prepare for the next election. That's a major problem.
I'm talking about, preparing for the next election. I will move on to my next question, Igbonyemi. Earlier, you spoke about that sense of entitlement of the two major political parties. And talking about that sense of entitlement, you see, even as we speak, despite the level of, failure that we've, experienced under this current government, you see people that actually they are, campaigning in APC. They are actually campaigning aggressively towards 2023 again. So it's as if everything happening around them is as if they are non-existent. They still campaigning. So again, that leads me to, are they taking the advantage of our, defective memories? Because I can't really fathom why some of them are so, they have that courage, they have that boldness to still be campaigning, strongly in that same party, for 2023 election. Are they 100% sure of our, that sense of our defective memories that don't mind them, they will still vote for us anyway?
I will say this, and I said it earlier a bit, that even within this party, let me be specific, APC, they are still good people. I drove out this morning and I saw a giant billboard of a chairman candidate of the same party in my area. Is a young man that at least I know a bit about him. A bit that is good enough for me to say, this guy can represent me. But I'll tell you what I did, not this morning, prior to that. Okay, when I saw that billboard, I felt at ease. Young, brilliant lawyer who has shown signs of ability to run in an office. I've had the privilege of interacting with him. But when I heard about his running this time around, I insisted on him seeing me. I needed to probe a bit into his mind. And I felt convinced after our discussion. He actually came and knocked on my door. And I have known what has happened within that local government, at least a little of what I saw. Now, this young man, to me now, is going in with so much vibrancy if he's elected, with so much vibrancy, with so much energy, with so much idea. He also pleaded for suggestions when I spoke with him. Now he's going in there as an individual that has to operate in the midst of other people. Remember the fact that there are going to be councillors elected to that place.
Yep.
Those councillors are going to sit at meetings within the chambers there. And then the demands will come. The arm twisting will come. Probably. Don't let me say it may come. The arm twisting may come. But the party may lean on him. He is expected to do A, B, C, D things for the party. I'm not sure that in Australia there, the party will insist that the chairman must come with X amount of money from his vote at every point in time. How we are going to deal with that, as long as we do not deal with such situations, we shouldn't expect magic from these people. For as long as we do not raise our voice in defense of such people, we shouldn't expect magic. Now, for how long such a person is able to resist this pressure is another thing. Will he be contented with just running for a term and will say, if you are not happy with me, throw me out? But the question is, will the party agree to his style and not even throw him out without waiting for people to say so? Because if your party does not present you, forget it. That is the end of the road. It's a bit complex here. And maybe you want to attribute it also to the level of our development. For as long as we do not copy, at least, or learn or imitate best practices, the steering will still be the same.
Thank you.
So
thank you.
For now, it comes down back to my question. I'm not sure.
Thanks so much, Egbon. We have a Blessing Collar Day. He's been commenting since we started the show tonight. He just wrote, we just need to practice two parties, like you said. Just take a look at foreign countries, most especially the states. Thank you, Blessing Collar Day. I'll move on to the next question, and that go to Vicky. Prominent Nigerians from different walks of life have been spokespersons for the government at different times in our history. Many of them are known to be pathological liars. They are known to be pathological liars in government. Why do people easily compromise their integrity while serving in government? I'm talking about, pathological liars. We have, without mentioning them, we have a minister of communication, a current minister now that his name is synonymous with lies. How do we get here when you really have people that at different stages in their lives, they've actually established something in business, in academia, in law, in whatever, and then they get to these positions, and it's as if they don't even care about all their years of investments. Why do people compromise their integrity?
Why do people compromise their integrity? At the end of the day, it's about the money. It's about what is in it for the South. So when you decided to sell your soul to the devil, there's no conscience. There's nothing picking picking your heart that I shouldn't have said that. I made a mistake, or I should apologize. And you can go to bed and sleep without feeling bad about what you've said or what you've done. Then what are you expecting from these people? They've sold their mind, they've sold their lives to the devil. That's why at the end of the day, it's about money. It's about money. Because when they can serve their master, serve him by lying and by selling their soul, of course, there will be more money coming to their side. So they don't give a damn. And when it's not about what the journalists are saying. It's not what the newscasters are saying. I've stopped listening to or reading what others are saying. I want to see the video where that person is talking and assess it myself. All right, this is not doctored. This person actually said this. Then what is wrong up here? Now, the second problem that we have in Nigeria, yes, we have this selective amnesia. That's one. Then number two, the other problem that I've realized, and I was actually talking to, I think it was Abbas a few days ago, and I talked about this to him. See, when older people, in Nigeria, the way we respect older people, whether they are saying the right thing or the wrong thing, we cannot face them and tell them that what you've just talked about, that's lie now. Why are you lying? Because if you say that, they'll see you as disrespectful. Me and Egbon now, if we start talking and I say, Egbon, now, where she mama paro benye. I can say that to one Oyinbo here, but I can't say that to my Egbon because Egbon will be like, o ti wá rí mi fín, àtijọ́ ṣe show, now lè rí mi fín àbí? Who are you? That kind of thing. And Egbon can start talking to other people that girl who are disrespectful. And I wouldn't want that now. So whether Egbon is saying is making sense, so Egbon is not making sense, so yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is what we do. That is a big problem. Because we have people, I've seen somebody who was a bank manager, who had his own business, who was doing really well. And then he had a condition called younger onset dementia. Dementia is a condition for older people, but it's happening these days, even in younger people. We're talking about 40-something-year-old. We're talking about early 50s. That's when we regard them as having younger onset dementia. Brilliant people, all of a sudden, they are not, you can feel it that something is not quite okay here.
Right, okay.
But, when that is happening, because that person is older, you have to keep, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But you should get to a stage that you've got to say, come on, how can you say I should go and be walking in front of a truck and you want me to go and do that? Is something wrong with you? But we don't do that in Nigeria. Face them and say, no. Now, for instance, I sent something to you guys during the week whereby there was this picture of, there was going to be a meeting between Twitter and Nigeria about the ban. Twitter there were young, vibrant men, and I think there was a lady in there, young people in there. They were going to come into these discussions. Who are the people that we have? What do they know to be Twitter? What do they know to be Twitter? But you expect them to go there and tell us about backend and this and this and this. What are they going to say? They are going to go there and present what they don't really know much about. Come on, that's what we're talking about. We need to get to a stage whereby, yes, I can respect Egbon if we're in Egbon's sitting room. But if we are in the office, if Egbon is not making sense for whatever reason, sorry, Egbon. Sorry, Egbon. If Egbon is saying something,
please feel free. Go on. Let's go.
If Egbon is saying something, I don't agree with it for whatever reason. Let us talk about it. Let us talk. Let me be able to say, Egbon, come on. No. What you just said, I don't think that is right. Because I should be able to say it. But once it by ye sorry, if you don't understand my Yoruba, once it by ye our young ones are not able to say that. Our young ones are me. While your Eniola will say, Daddy, why are you lying now? Somebody came to the door and you said I should tell them you are not here. Your Eniola will say, why are you saying that? You know what I mean? But in Nigeria, I wouldn't be able to face my mother and say that. I wouldn't be able to say that to anyone that is older than me. If they are talking, you can't talk. And that is one of our biggest problems. So you are saying somebody is lying. This person knows that he's lying. Otita soul for the devil. And it's all about the money. He has forgotten about his legacy. He has forgotten that he's here now. There will be a time he will go. But what is he leaving behind? They don't care. They don't care because over the years, Jesse, these people are not even taking they're not even thinking about anybody. It's all about them and their children and their grandchildren.
I'll pause you there,
Wale, sorry.
Dr. Vicky.
Wale,
You want
Wale,
to
sorry,
quickly respond? Okay.
Yes, no, not even response. I want to just an addition because Vicky is she's very much on point. She has touched on the aspect of our culture and tradition. But let me add to our problems. Religion is another major problem.
Yes.
A major problem. Listen, the honest truth is that people pay lip service to the fear of God. God as a concept. People pay lip service. Apart from all the lies during the campaign period, we're going to do A, B, C, D things. All just to attract votes. The big lie actually starts from the day they are sworn in. And somebody is holding the Holy Book,
Bible or the Quran,
from whatever religion, and you hear "So help me God" at the end of it. The fact is, not a word of it is meant, apart from maybe self-preservation during that period. Not a word of it is meant. They don't expect God to strike them down when they start lying. No, they don't. They push it out there, and that is it. It is the same reason why somebody will lie to the people, to the public on Saturday, and by Sunday morning is in church, or lie to them on Thursday, and by Friday, Jumat is in the service. And it becomes the star of the session. And special prayers are offered to sustain him or her in office. Then he dips his hand into the coffers, public coffers, and give it to the religious body. He's even given a microphone to address them. And the lie continues on that platform. So where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? It is because there are no repercussions. There are no repercussions. Since we started this experiment in democracy, I'm yet to hear of a recall, a successful recall. Since we started. And who cannot be recalled is confident that he can rig his way back into office. So what is stopping him or her from lying to you? There are no repercussions. It is a major problem.
Thank you so much, Egbo. And I move on to my next question, which I'm giving that to you as well. Spin doctors are globally recognized in politics for their roles in speaking favorably about the governments they represent. As a media practitioner, what's the difference between a spin doctor and someone who shows outright disregard for the truth?
Spin doctor.
Yeah. So that question is for...
And someone who, I know, but and someone
who outrightly show disregard for the truth. You want me to go over that again?
No. I understand what you're asking. There's no difference. The fact that you are a spin doctor puts you in a situation where you do not have regard for the truth. You need to twist information. You need to make an establishment or government look good where they are not. If they are doing good, you don't need a spin.
Exactly.
You just put the information out there. A spin doctor is a professional that is paid to twist stories in your favor. If you have regard for the truth, you won't be given that name. You won't be tagged that name. Put a spin to it. Means color it up.
Package.
Make it look good. Yeah, repackage. Make it look good. That happens. But I'll tell you, listen.
But so before you respond,
that's a different story. Sorry. Yeah, go on.
Do you believe that, I know the angle you're looking at this from, but do you believe that even as spin doctors that are globally recognized, they cheap, as you said, they put a spin on it to make government look good? But sometimes, like what we see in the same, let me use advanced country for example. During Obama's government, he had his own team, media team and everything, and they put their own spin on it. If you compare that with when we had Donald Trump and his media team, and now they come out and outrightly things that are, even a 2-year-old child
was black, they made it white.
So that is the kind of the kind of differentiation I'm trying to make here. I know that the spin doctor will put a spin on it in one way or the other, but in some cases, like yeah. But I put this question to because you are a media practitioner. I want to really,
Well, if you have a government that you can give 8 out of 10 marks for a good job, understand? You won't be bothered about spinning. You won't be bothered about what spin doctors are doing. Understand? Listen, there is no perfect system anywhere. None. I'm not sure there is. Not even in Australia. There's no perfect system anywhere. But the essence of government and governance is to make life comfortable for the citizens. That is it. In different aspects. The essence of government, and that includes education. It includes it includes security. It includes infrastructures. If you are scoring, the average person that scores 80% out of 100 cannot be tagged as a dullard. You can afford to give the remaining 2 as, okay, maybe you should have worked harder on this 2. But when you are scoring 2 out of 10, you need all the spin doctors in the world to make people assess you as good. Understand? To make people assess you. And it's a difficult task. What I'm saying, in essence, straight to your question.
Yeah.
The difference, it's when you work in certain clients. Listen, a medical doctor that works in a normal hospital where you have 2-3 patients every other day or whatever cannot be compared to a doctor that is in a war zone, that is bombarded by patients, by victims that have people who have been shot all around him. So if a spin doctor is working in a clime, for instance, where you live, he is not out there. He's not out there doing the hacker's job. He's not out there struggling to make people believe a government. He's only saying, okay, yes, what you have pointed out is right. But if we look at it from the fact that there's pressure from A, B, C, D things, or we've done A, B, C, D things, but we were going to fix that. That is mellowing outrage. Now take that same spin doctor to another client where you hardly find anything done. What spin can you put to a situation where it's complete blackout throughout a month in a society? What spin? That's the way I'm looking at it, Wale.
You're right. You're right. So that's so.
I am not
What you,
justifying. I'm not justifying the act, but I'm saying that where you work as a media person, I mean, there are stories you put out there that you have seen in reality, and you leave to people to judge. There are stories there that you realize that, wait a minute, some efforts have been made, but not good enough. These are various approaches to it.
Thank you. Thank
my
you.
My
Thank you.
candid opinion.
You've really looked at it from what I really intended to achieve with that question. That's why I specifically put that question to you, Egbon. Thank you. So I'll go to the Dr. Vicky now. Time is fast spent. In one of his books, InterInventions, Professor Wole Soyinka, he wrote, still talking about this topic of lies. Worse, I confess myself increasingly obsessed with the very subject, the subject of lie. Why the lie? And how deeply do the purveyors sleep, make love to their spouses or lovers, look their children in the face, since their internet-raised children, more knowledgeable than they imagine, often recognize that their papa or mamas has just violated those norms of decency. The decency they acquire, at least in the school or elsewhere, even if jettisoned in the home. So just quoting from, and a bit of paraphrasing, Professor Wole Soyinka talking about, the topic of lie. What is your take? Like Professor, you put a bit of, humor on that. Like, how do people really, you put a bit of humor. Yeah. So what was your take on, this topic of lie? I just thought that, that's a very poignant, a quote there from Professor Wole Soyinka. What's your take on that, Vicky?
See, not just in politics, in every sphere of life. If you are the type that lies and the kids are watching, your kids are watching. They sometimes you may think they are not watching, but they are watching you. I'll give you an example. A young lady in early 20s, between early 20s and mid 20s, came to do my makeup for me. I eventually heard that our parents in Nigeria were both pastors. The man, when he goes to preach, he'll be there preaching and talking about how the wife, they talk nicely to each other, and this girl and the siblings will be watching that. This man that hasn't even talked to mom for the last 2 weeks is the one saying this. The girl whose parents were pastors and they were trying to do gingy in front of people, but of course in their house they were doing other things. This girl, until she moved to Australia, that was when she actually gave her life to Christ, because she couldn't stand the deceit, the lies that the parents they are so accustomed to. And I think it gets to a stage that people just don't have conscience anymore. And it's the same thing in politics. Why the lies? Now, when you have integrity, the point when people will start doubting what you say will make you to rethink, no, I don't want to be seen that way. But people that lack integrity, they can't, it's nothing to them. They don't actually think. They don't actually think. So we can't say it's because, oh, they are poor. But they've stolen everything that they can steal. So it's not because they are poor. This couple that will fight and fight and fight, and they get to church and behave and put this facade of holier than thou, that I open the door for her to sit in. Then I'm the one that makes her tea and coffee in the morning, which nothing like that happens. And the children that watches them, that stays with them all the time, were like, ah, hey, hey. So what are we doing? And we expect those kids to turn out right. We expect those kids to be upright. So what Wole Soyinka said there, I mean, did we lie? No. I be a bon.
Do you want me to respond to that?
Yes, sir.
Vicky, you just took a word from my mind, and that has to do with conscience. Listen, the Yorubas will say, "Bí ẹni tí wọ́n purọ́ fún ò bá mọ̀, ẹni tó ń purọ́ mọ̀ kó ń purọ́." Listen, all that thing that Prof itemized, they are the last things in their minds. So. Listen, once conscience is not there, what is there to prick you? It's the absence of conscience now. You need to have conscience not to be greedy. You need conscience, something, that silent voice in you that says, wait a minute, if you take this, you are going to hurt millions of people. That silent voice must tell you, wait a minute, you have children, there are repercussions. That silent voice must tell you that, wait, what if you are caught? Exactly. Would you want to take a trip to jail? But when he's not there, they will relax with their wives at night. They will do all those things. They will do it. So it is that simple. Oh, they know they are lying when they are lying. They know. They know. They are not even lying to buy time. They are lying to say it is done when they've not even thought of
doing it.
Sorry, I want to call them. Before I run, I beg.
I think it has even reached a very dangerous level whereby they begin to believe their own lies. I think that's just the real danger, because you need to look into their eyes and you believe. I think this guy believes what he's actually saying. This guy,
straight face.
Straight face. Because of time, before Egbon you run, I'll give you, we're rounding up. Your final words for tonight, and now we hand over to Dr. Vicky. Your final words.
It's an appeal to conscience. It's an appeal. My final words is an appeal to conscience. Yes, power is trusted on you to make life better for people. You may have some inadequacies in terms of capability, but there are ways of shoring these up. There are people you can rely on to help you out. But service delivery is very essential.
Exactly.
Whether you are in power for 4 years, whether you're in power for 8 years or more, please deliver good service to the people. The prerequisites of office can, if you're not disciplined enough, can make you forget the reason why you are there. But just take a look at your predecessors. How are they faring? Those who did it well, where are they? Those who did it badly and deliberately so, where are they? It's just an appeal. If you're watching and you're planning to get into power or you are in power, please do it right. And for Nigerians, let us speak out against evil. That's the least we can do, the least that we can do. Let us speak out against evil. The local government elections are just around the corner. Let's attempt now to do it right. And those who are in charge to collate and announce these decisions. It's an appeal. We cannot wait forever for Nigeria to be good. Let us start now. And that is by telling the truth. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Egbon. And I also like to thank Tolu Felicity. She's been part of this program since we started today. Thank you very much, Tolu. And also to Blessing Kolade. I'm sorry I've not been able to read all your comments, but I've read some of those comments. They are very, you are right there on point in terms of your contribution. Thanks so much. And I will hand over the baton to Dr. Vicky to round up the show. Over to you.
All right. Thank you again, Wale. Thanks, Egbon, for joining us today. And thanks to all our viewers all over the place. Thank you for joining us and for all those wonderful comments. It's another great topic, and it's all about our selective memories, selective amnesia that we have in terms of the lies we've been told over the years. But at the end of the day, we put all these people there to do the right thing by us. But when they don't do those right things that we expect, it's important that we all need to do what we have to do to get them to do those right things. And what are those things we need to do? We need to keep talking. We need to keep having this kind of dialogue, and we need to keep doing what we have to do to let them know that this is not good enough. And the other thing, for those people lying to us, think of your legacy. All right, think of your legacy. Yes, there's no conscience, there's no fear of God, but anything can happen. You're here today. We don't know when you're going to leave, but when you leave, whatever you do speaks a lot about you. And the grandkids that you have behind, what's going to happen to them? People will start pointing fingers at those kids. I mean, there are things that were written years ago, and they brought them out now. And it's like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Think about your legacy. What's your legacy going to be about? What are people going to say about you in the next 100 years? You're lying to save somebody's neck. What are people going to say about you in the next 100 years? It's never all about the money. You have it today. People do have it. And you know what? There is statistics supporting that even that money that you have today doesn't, by the time it gets to the third generation, that kind of money is gone. Because yes, you have it, you know how to manage it. The next generation may struggle a little bit. By the time it gets to the third generation, if you don't train them well, the money is gone. Totally. And I'm sorry to say, you look at Abiola today. Abiola, when we were younger, was like, oh my goodness, Abiola. But by the time he left, and the kids and all that, did they know how to manage it? Did they know how to run it well? Can we still say Abiola the way we used to say it then? That's what I'm talking about. So your legacy can say a lot about you. You need to think about it. So if anybody is listening to this and you find yourself in government, think about your legacy. God bless you. So you have it today. Think about your legacy. That's very important. So we will round 3 talk today. Thank you to our viewers. Thank you so much, Egbon. I know you have to run. And Mr. Wale Olaitan, we appreciate you. Until next Saturday, when we come back again, I will bring you another great topic. You all have a lovely Sunday. God bless you all. Bye. Bye, everyone. Bye. See you all.
It's LC the beat guy.